using this old one as a template. It's well worn, falling apart, and I can't really justify wearing it anymore. However, it is the most comfortable bra I've ever owned, so I'm going to do my best to replicate it. For this project, I'll be using jersey fabric in 2 different colours, black for the lining, and this camouflage pattern for the outer layer of the bra. I will also be using band elastic, fold over elastic, strap elastic, and hook and eye tape. I will also reuse the sliders from the old bra. I take a seam ripper and open up along all the seams of the bra. I then cut open the straps and salvage the sliders. The pieces are now all separated and ready to make a pattern. The lining is misshapen, so I'm going to cut out a dart so that it lies flat. I fold the piece in half, making sure that the bottom edges are together and that the whole thing lies flat. I hold the top edge against a ruler along the fold, and I cut from the bottom up to the point where the ruler meets the fabric. I will now press all of my pieces with an iron so that they lie flat. All the pieces are now ironed flat. I have also pressed the front band and the centre front piece in half, as these will be placed on the fold. I pin the front strap to the centre front as I want to cut this as one piece. On the back pieces, I have pinned the strap part down. I want to sew the strap closer to the hooks so that it's more like a racer back. I then begin to draw around the pieces. Where the edges have frayed, I give myself an extra centimetre. I do the same for the dart I cut in the lining, and I continue to draw around all the pieces. I label all my pieces and tidy up the edges by going over it with pen. And I cut out the pieces. I pin my pattern pieces to the fabric, keeping the 2 front pieces along the fold and making sure they're all sat correctly along the pattern of the fabric. And now I cut all the pieces out. The outside and the lining are all cut and ready for sewing. First, I go along and overlock all the edges. I then sew along the dart in the lining. I then sew the front pieces together and top stitch the seams. Next, I find the centre of the bra and the centre of the front band, and I pin these together. I pin along the edges and I sew these together and top stitch the seams. I do the same for the lining, and I hold the two pieces together to make sure they measure up. Next, I measure along the width of my lining. This comes to 56 centimetres. I then measure my band elastic. I cut this 2 centimetres shorter than the width of my lining. I pin the ends of my elastic to the ends of my lining. I find the centre points and pin these together. I then find the midpoints between the centre pin and the end pins and pin these together. Next, I stitch the lining to the band, pulling on the elastic until it's the same length as the fabric. I use the same process to pin the lining to the front side of the bra. I pin the right side of the outer bra to the wrong side of the lining along the lower edge as shown. I sew these two together, again pulling the elastic and the fabric to the same length. I then flip the two wrong sides together and top stitch. The bra is starting to take shape. Place the tape over the end of the bra, and I go over this several times with a zigzag stitch. I go over the edges with an overlocking foot. Next, I measured the arms and neckline, and for each I cut a section of folding elastic 2 centimetres shorter. I fold the elastic over the edges and I go over this in a zigzag stitch, pulling the elastic as I go. The bra is almost complete. I measure and cut the strap elastic. An average strap is around 15 to 18 inches. I used my old straps as a guide. I thread the end of my elastic through the slider. I then go over the centre bar and thread it through the other side. And I leave a tail of about 2 centimetres. I go over this several times with a zigzag stitch. I thread another slider onto the end of my strap. I thread the end back up through the first slider. Taking the front strap of my bra, I thread this through the bottom of the slider my strap is attached to. I leave about 2 centimetres. And go over this several times with a zigzag stitch. And finally, I stitch the end of the strap to the back of the bra. The bra is now complete, and it fits.